Hello, welcome to Inside the Summit League. Tennis season has started in the Summit League. Seems a little strange, but Denver and a couple other teams have already played. Fort Wayne will host the League Tennis Championships coming up in April. Indoor track and field is off and running. All the results on the league website at thesummitleague.org. And speaking of which, the folks at the league office are getting into March Madness mode with a March to the Summit slogan and a new webpage link to the league basketball tournament with ticket and venue information on there. Next week, teams will start wearing their March to the Summit warm-up shirts as we head toward the league tournament starting March 7th in Sioux Falls. A couple other notes. Congratulations, a week late, we know, to Omaha Athletic Director Trev Alberts, voted into the College Football Hall of Fame. The former Nebraska linebacker will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame this December. And there is a new volleyball coach in the league, kind of a new coach anyway. South Dakota State has hired Nicole Cirillo. She has been in the league for the last 5 years as the associate head coach at IUPUI. She was also the recruiting coordinator for the Jaguars. Well, coming up on the show, lots of good stories. Tyler Larson at South Dakota, a senior from Vegas who's rolling hot right now for the Coyotes. Deondre Parks at South Dakota State, JUCO transfer from Flint, Michigan, is making his mark on the Jackrabbits this season. Deng Gak at Washington High School in Sioux Falls. He is throwing down in his senior season, but can't wait to become a Bison at North Dakota State next year. And a fantastic bunch of first-year players at Oral Roberts, the Fab Five freshmen for the Golden Eagles. Which brings us to the week in women's basketball. South Dakota knocks off South Dakota State, and Western Illinois is looking good as the player of the week again this week, keeps doing her double-double thing. Ashley Luke is just a junior, but she is the senior member of the Summit League Double-Double Club. She's got 10 of them this season after 2 more this week. The Western Illinois star has had at least 16 points and 10 rebounds in every league game so far this season. Luke put up 20 points and 16 boards in a win at Denver on Thursday, and then 30 points and 12 rebounds in a loss at Oral Roberts on Saturday. Now, Vicky McIntyre had her usual 15 rebounds in that game for ORU. 2 nights before that, McIntyre had 21 points, 22 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots in a win over IUPUI. And Oral Roberts gets back to even in the league at 3-3 with 2 wins on the week. South Dakota sweeps the week as well. Nicole Seekamp, 14 points, 9 assists in a USD win over North Dakota State. And the Coyotes follow that up by knocking off South Dakota State on Saturday. Macy Miller with a career-high 25 for the Jackrabbits. But Rachel Contreras pours in a career-high 32 for the U. And the Yotes take the first round of the South Dakota Showdown, 82-78. North Dakota State did rebound on Saturday with a win at home against Fort Wayne. Caleb Becken with a career-high 21 in the win for the Bison. And Omaha gets its first league win of the season. The Mavs take down IUPUI on Saturday, 66-49. Lanice Bowe with 11 points, 9 rebounds, 6 steals for Omaha. Remy Davenport adds 13 points and 6 boards, and the Mavericks get the W.
I think we played great. On both ends of the floor, we definitely picked it up from our past few games, and we played a full 40 minutes without any lulls or anything like that, so I'm really proud of the way we played tonight.
This is a team we haven't beaten before and has beaten us very handily in the past, so to come out and learn from those mistakes in the past or learn from our experiences and execute today on both halves, I think is really, really good.
Coming up, men's basketball, including the most points scored by one guy in the league so far this season, C.J. Carter, filling it up at Omaha.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back. Now to men's basketball. South Dakota State and Oral Roberts have won 4 games in a row, and a couple of guys put some huge numbers on the score sheet this week. Oral Roberts was averaging 68 points per game, but the Eagles blow up and hit 100 against Omaha last Wednesday night. Corey Bilberry goes 13 of 19 from the field on his way to a career-high 34 points in a 102-86 win. C.J. Carter with 19 in this game for Omaha, which is good, but minuscule compared to what he does on Sunday. 19 of 25 from the field against IUPUI, 7 of 8 on threes, 30 points in the second half for Carter, 45 in the game. It's the fourth most in Summit League history. He sets an Omaha record with the 19 made field goals, and maybe most incredibly, does not make a free throw in the entire game. IUPUI wins the game, by the way. Mason Archie with 19 for the Jags, who already have 3 wins in the league. Well, so does South Dakota, and the Coyotes pull the mild upset of the week. Casey Kasperbauer with 4 threes and 18 points, and the Coyotes cool off the Bison, first league loss for North Dakota State. But they come back 2 nights later with a win at home against Western Illinois. The Leatherneck starters scored just 11 points in the game. J.C. Fuller off the bench with 21 for Western. But Lawrence Alexander is good again, 17 points, 7 rebounds, and the Bison get to 4-1 in league play. And in the weirdest game of the weekend, South Dakota at South Dakota State, USD scores the first 20 points. SDSU comes back with 18 in a row, and the Jackrabbits actually lead at the half, and they go on to win by 14 in front of more than 5,000 fans at Frost Arena. Well, coming up next, Players of the Week and a skinny, undersized power forward at South Dakota, how Tyler Larson is stacking up big game after big game right now for the Coyotes at USD.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back. Here are your Summit League track and basketball players of the week. Tyler Larson has not been named Player of the Week yet, but he's going to get his. Larson leads South Dakota in scoring and rebounds and assists right now. Here is more on the senior from Las Vegas from Alex Heine.
It's been a year to remember already for South Dakota guard Tyler Larson. Just 2 months into his senior season, he's had his share of buzzer beaters, historic road wins, and has earned some silverware in the process. To fully appreciate what Larson's doing this year, however, you have to remember what he's been through. Back in the fall of 2012, his first year in the South Dakota program, an ACL-MCL tear forced Tyler to sit out the entire season and beyond.
I was playing really good before my injury, and that was devastating to me and my family and the team. Like, everybody's really sad that I went through that injury. I tried to come back a little bit early, just playing one-on-one with my teammates, and I went to the doctor, got an MRI, and they said, like, you slightly tore it again. So I had to get another surgery, which made me have to sit out 3 to 4 months, and I couldn't even be there for the first practice last year.
2 surgeries and nearly 12 months later, Larson's return to the court coincided with a few physical reservations that he had to overcome.
I was kind of tentative at first, but as it got going, I realized that, there's nothing to be tentative about. Like, you only live once. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
If you're out there, worrying about your knee and worrying about getting injured, I'm sure you're a little more tentative than maybe you normally would be.
When I got to finally play, it was I just wanted to be on the court. I didn't care what my role was. I wanted to contribute, obviously, but I just was happy to be back out there.
After admittedly being slowed down by a knee brace during his junior season, Larson looks like a different player this year. The senior from Las Vegas has started every game for Craig Smith and has become one of USD's and the Summit League's best all-around players.
There's not much the kid can't do. Look what he's done in the league so far. He's the 3rd leading scorer in the conference. He's the leading rebounder in the conference at 6'3", and he's 4th in assists. I've been in this business for 19 years, and I know I've never coached a guy that's been able to do that, and I don't ever recall seeing another player that's done that in any league, whether it's been the Big Ten or the Mountain West.
I've always been a versatile player, but, it feels good to be able to do it on a national level this year.
National attention came Larson's way following his heroics in the dying moments on the road against Creighton. The senior hit 2 threes with seconds to play to force overtime, including the game-tying shot at the buzzer.
He's on my hip. I just kind of gave him a nudge, and he just happened to fall really hard. And I was wide open. I was like, okay, you better make this, because the last shot wasn't wide open and you made it. So now you're wide open, and your team is depending on you to make this shot, and stepped up to the plate.
Even though the Yotes lost that game in double overtime, the confidence gained from sticking with a perennial NCAA tournament team helped propel South Dakota to wins in 5 of their following 7 games over the holiday season. The hot shooting and all-around excellence from Larson during that stretch earned him the Summit League's Athlete of the Month for December, an award well-deserved according to his head coach.
He really knows how to play. He understands the game. He's got tremendous feel for the game. He has so much pride in who he is and what he's about. And no challenge is too big for that kid, and he's been a pleasure to coach.
Individual accolades aside, Larson is focused on team success in 2015. Having already surprised many with a strong start to the conference season, the senior has the belief that his squad can continue to build towards something special at year's end. Not through talent or style points, but with heart.
We might not have the height or we might not have the athleticism, but everybody on our team will never stop fighting, and we always think we're in a game to win it. We just believe in each other, we believe in our coaches, and we believe in just this university. We believe that we can do it.
Coming up next, another big city kid who has found a home in a smaller Summit League city. The big move from JUCO to Jackrabbit with Deondre Parks at South Dakota State. And Geu, a talented high school senior who will be going home to Fargo next year to play college hoops at North Dakota State.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Well, Deondre Parks is from Flint, Michigan. He went to prep school in Columbus, Georgia, and then to junior college in Des Moines, Iowa, and now he's in the Summit League in Brookings, South Dakota. And as David Brown reports, Parks is making his mark on a Jackrabbit team that needed a steady scorer just like him.
Deondre Parks wears number 0 on the court, but his presence is far from nothing. The junior college transfer has acclimated well to his new home in Brookings.
It took a little just to adjust, coming in with guys that already played at the high level. Me coming in from junior college, they got a lot more experience than me as far as on this level. But I got a voice and I let it be heard in practice. So I basically try to talk just to be a leader.
The leadership mentality comes from his time at Iowa Lakes Community College, where he spent the past 2 seasons leading the Lakers in scoring and earning All-American honors. And while he's adjusted well, he admits his game has changed dramatically since coming to South Dakota State.
I take better shots here. In JUCO, I was forced to take shots that I shouldn't take just because of the type of player I was and the leader I was over there. But here, guys can do the same thing I can. Anybody can go out and get 20.
Parks is a key component of a new starting core for the Jackrabbits, one that features 4 guards as well as big man Cody Larson.
It's a fun lineup. You got a fast point guard in George, you got a great shooter in Reed, and probably the best big man in Summit League in Cody Larson. And you got one of the best on-ball defenders in Jake Bitter who can also make plays. So it's pretty fun to be in a lineup with those guys.
As usual, defense is the name of the game when it comes to SDSU's philosophy. Parks knows he can score, but prides himself on taking after Coach Scott Nagy and working hard on D.
The defense has been great, but I think we can play even better defense and just, beat teams by 40. If we rebound and play even better defense, pack the lane in, and contest jump shots.
What I was most pleased about him in the USD game was just his effort defensively and chasing around Casey Kasperbauer, who we feel like is probably the best shooter in the league. And I think that Deandre did a good job of eliminating his shots, and that, to me, that's the most important thing. Like, we get good offense out of him, that's a plus. What we need out of him is good defense, and he gave us that.
Regardless of what he provides, Parks knows the stage and the spotlight are bigger and brighter in Brookings, but he's already embracing everything around him.
It's crazy. The Rabbit Den it's been amazing to me, and I'm just glad I could be a part of it. And like the USD game, it was unbelievable how loud it was and how many people was here. I love it.
Well, a lot of high school kids out there dream of playing Division I basketball for a Summit League team, and Deng Geu was one of them. His journey goes from the Sudan to Fargo to Sioux Falls, and will take him back home next year to play hoops at North Dakota State. Jason Andera has his story.
Forward is 6'8" senior, number 32, Deng Geu.
When you talk about Deng Geu, one thing is sure to come up: dunking. And when you mention that word dunk, a smile comes across his face.
It feels good because it's just a momentum changer. You know, when the crowd's getting hype, it just gives you a little bit more energy. You see your teammates get hype, and it just goes on from there. But walking around class or school, everybody's like, "Hey, you gonna dunk it today?" And you're just like, "I'll try."
While dunking may have put him on the map, Deng has had to use a map to get where he is today.
I was born in Sudan, and then I came to Fargo when I was 6 years old. Then grew up there around North Fargo for a while. And then during middle school up to 7th grade, then I moved to South Fargo. Then after South Fargo, I came here sophomore year, like second semester of sophomore year.
But as many miles as he's logged physically in his 18 years, he's traveled even further in his basketball development over the last 18 months.
Yeah, I mean, he came in just really raw in his sophomore year. We could see he had that potential, he had those abilities, those skills to become a really good player, but it just took some time. And then Deng really progressed the second half of last year into the spring, and then of course into the summer when he started getting looked at by some colleges and playing a really good AAU schedule, and that's going to all pay off for him this season.
Geu credits Coach Nelson with pushing him to become great.
When I came here, you know, I had the height and I had potential, but he pushed me harder, and he's been on me. Like, he doesn't let me be like, "Oh yeah, you're good. You can just go do whatever you want." Like, he holds me accountable to all the little things.
Deng says his goal as a freshman was to play Division I basketball, but it wasn't until a couple summers later he started playing AAU ball, and at that point it became obvious that Geu's talent would get him to his D1 goal. NDSU, SDSU, and USD were all in the hunt for Geu's services last summer, but Geu chose Fargo for his college home.
It was a lot of, they came down here every day, just support, like they came to all the open gyms, just showed they wanted me, that I was their #1 guy. Then family down there made it a lot easier.
Before Deng starts his college career, he knows there's a few things he has to work on.
Definitely my weight, just because it's going to be very physical, so I got to put on some weight. And shooting, I got to work on my shot. Just three-pointer outside. Yeah. A lot's changed, you know, just going back with coach and working on all the little details and just polishing up my game. I feel like I've grown as a player a lot more in these past 2 years.
Well, when we come back, there are 5 of them. They are freshmen, but are they fabulous? We'll check out a loaded first-year class in women's basketball at Oral Roberts.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Well, we go to Tulsa this week in our campus spotlight, where the women's basketball team at Oral Roberts features 5 seniors and 5 true freshmen. And those first-year players are all playing a part so far in the success for the Golden Eagles.
ORU women's basketball has its own version of the Fab Five. Freshmen Esther Adumo, Jason Beard, Jordan Doyle, Jordan Gilbert, and Faith Ahim were all selected to the 2014 Oklahoma All-State game. Even though it wasn't necessarily a group decision to attend ORU, it helped that the players already knew each other.
It was as a group, but it was mostly for me because I'm a teenage mother, and I was deciding whether to go farther away from my daughter or should I be here near her. And I chose here, and also I know a lot of the All-Staters and that go here. So.
The 5 is down to 4 now that Beard is out for the season with a knee injury. And so far, the 2 Jordans have picked up the most significant playing time. Expectations remain high for all of the remaining 4, and that's okay with them.
Yeah, it's fair as long as we just stay focused with each other, spend more time on the court, work on everything that we need to work on. We can really shock this place, shock everyone who's doubting us, because we are really talented. All of us, we are quick, we're tall, we have length, so it's going to be amazing with these girls and everyone else.
I think it's fair to have those expectations put upon them. I was actually very surprised when I first came here. I'd never seen any of them play, and we first come to open gym, and I was like, holy cow.
Really?
There is some athleticism, there is length, there's speed, and there's just an overall intelligence about their play that I just really wasn't expecting. And I think it's fair to put that kind of expectation on them, and we're going to need them to step up this year. We need, we don't have a point guard without Jordan Doyle, and she's going to need to step up, and she's going to be an integral part of what we do this year.
The question now is chemistry. The returning players say they're excited to play with the Fab Five, but that the freshmen won't be handed anything. They'll have to earn their playing time. Fair enough. Meanwhile, the young guns are happy to blend in and help this team win more than last year's 9 games.
I think so. They're all easy to talk to, easy to get along with. They're very welcoming. Like they just bring us in to their family since we're teammates now. So
special class, great class. They get along, no ego problems there. They love each other. I think they've loved each other since they all found out they were coming here. So I think they bring an energy and just an excited spirit to learn that has kind of helped our seniors.
Thanks to everybody at Oral Roberts. Thanks to all of our member schools. We'll see you next week on Inside the Summit League.